Ukraine, the AFU, have stood up against Putin's aggression. But it's been a massive effort by 13 international partners who are currently training part of the Ukrainian army.
British troops on Ukrainian soil. It's not just a possibility anymore. Defense Secretary John Healey's visit to Kyiv has sparked intense speculation about the UK's military involvement in the ongoing conflict. But what does this mean for you?
The engine room of Zelensky's victory plan. Here at an undisclosed location in the east of England, at this urban training facility, the UK and its allied partners are transferring their vast knowledge and experience.
The British public. As we unpack the implications of this potential move, you'll discover how it could reshape not just the war in Ukraine, but the entire landscape of European security. Stay tuned as we reveal the shocking truth behind this geopolitical gambit. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video.
To Ukrainian soldiers.
The mission for Interflex that we were given was to primarily train the Ukrainians with 3 key pillars.
Picture this. British soldiers patrolling the streets of Kyiv, their uniforms a stark contrast to the Ukrainian landscapes we've grown accustomed to seeing. It's a scenario that seemed far-fetched just months ago, but recent developments have brought this possibility closer to reality. Currently, the UK's support for Ukraine primarily takes the form of Operation Interflex, a training program that's seen over 30,000 Ukrainian troops receive combat instruction on British soil. It's been a cornerstone of the UK's commitment to Ukraine's defence, but Defence Secretary John Healey's recent visit to Kyiv has hinted at a potential game-changer. Healey's discussions in Ukraine weren't just diplomatic niceties. They included talks about expanding training efforts directly within Ukraine's borders. This is no small shift. It's a strategic pivot that could fundamentally alter the nature of British support, and by extension, the conflict itself. Why consider such a risky move? The motivations are complex. Some military experts argue that in-country training could provide more immediate tactical advantages. It's one thing to train in the relative safety of the UK, but quite another to prepare troops in the very environment they'll be fighting in. This approach could better equip Ukrainian forces for the harsh realities of their ongoing struggle. However, this potential strategy isn't without its critics. Leaked comments from UK military personnel reveal significant concerns. They worry about the risks of deploying troops to an active war zone and the potential for escalation. After all, the line between training support and direct involvement can be dangerously thin in the fog of war. The consequences of this decision could be far-reaching. If British troops set foot on Ukrainian soil, even in a training capacity, it could be seen as a provocative move by Russia. It might lead to increased tensions, not just between the UK and Russia, but within NATO itself. Some allies might view it as an unnecessary escalation, while others could see it as a bold step in supporting Ukraine's sovereignty. So what's the real reason behind this potential deployment? It's not just about military strategy, it's a calculated risk that speaks to a broader geopolitical gambit. By considering this move, the UK is signaling its commitment to Ukraine's cause and its willingness to take bold steps where other nations might hesitate. It's a play for influence on the global stage, a chance for Britain to assert its role in shaping European security in a post-Brexit world. But this decision doesn't exist in a vacuum. To truly understand its implications, we need to zoom out and examine the bigger picture. How might other global powers react? What could this mean for the future of international alliances? The prospect of British boots on Ukrainian soil isn't just a military decision. It's a move that could upend the global chessboard. With the US, France, and Germany watching closely, one question looms large. Is the UK about to change the rules of the game, or have they miscalculated their next move? The international response to this potential British gambit is already taking shape. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot's recent statement that Western allies shouldn't limit their support for Ukraine hints at a possible shift in the European stance. It's a subtle nod of approval that could embolden the UK's decision-makers. But not everyone's on board with this risky play. Across the pond, the political winds are shifting. President-elect Donald Trump has promised to try and end the war, a stark contrast to the UK's more aggressive stance. This divergence in approach between two key NATO allies could create fissures in the coalition that's been crucial to Ukraine's defense. The potential deployment of British troops to Ukraine isn't happening in a vacuum. It's a move that could dramatically alter the balance of power in the region. On one side, it might provide a much-needed morale boost to Ukrainian forces, showcasing unwavering Western support. On the other, it risks poking the Russian bear, potentially leading to a significant escalation of the conflict. Geopolitical experts are sounding alarm bells. They warn that the presence of Western troops in Ukraine could provoke a severe reaction from Russia. It's not hard to see why. From the Kremlin's perspective, this move could be seen as crossing a red line, potentially leading to a broader, more dangerous conflict. History offers some sobering parallels. Previous Western military involvements in proxy conflicts have often led to heightened tensions and retaliatory actions from adversaries. The UK's potential troop deployment to Ukraine could follow a similar pattern, reshaping the conflict in ways that are difficult to predict or control. As we consider the long-term implications for global security, one thing is clear: this decision could be a pivotal moment in the Ukraine conflict. It has the potential to embolden Ukraine and its allies, but it also risks escalating tensions with Russia to unprecedented levels. The coming months will reveal whether this bold move will be remembered as a strategic masterstroke or a dangerous miscalculation. The world watches with bated breath as the UK contemplates its next move on this high-stakes geopolitical chessboard. As the UK teeters on the brink of a potentially game-changing decision, we're left to ponder the consequences. This isn't just about boots on the ground. It's about redefining the very nature of Western involvement in Ukraine. The lines between support and direct engagement are blurring, and the world is holding its breath. Will this bold move tip the scales in Ukraine's favor, or will it spark a dangerous escalation? History offers cautionary tales of similar interventions gone awry, yet the stakes here are uniquely high. The coming months will be crucial, determining whether the UK's gambit goes down as a masterstroke of geopolitical chess or a reckless miscalculation. One thing's certain: the conflict in Ukraine is entering uncharted territory. As we watch events unfold, we're not just spectators, we're witnesses to a potential turning point in modern European history. The repercussions of this decision will echo far beyond Ukraine's borders, reshaping alliances and perhaps even the global balance of power. Brace yourselves. The geopolitical landscape is about to shift beneath our feet.